Hello, everyone, and welcome to my webinar today. How are you doing? I am so happy to have you here today. Welcome. So, in this webinar, we're going to talk about the 4 mistakes you should avoid before you start your beauty brand. So, let's make sure you have my full attention. Turn off your phone, turn off your TV, and grab a pen and a notepad because we are going to be covering some real information that can help you build your beauty brand. Now, before I get into my presentation, I want to let you know that there will be a special gift for you at the end of this video, so please stay tuned. I know you will appreciate it and you don't want to miss out on it, so please watch the whole video in full. So, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Isis Gordon, and I am the owner of Curly Temple. We have been in business for about 4 years. The beauty products that I sell are natural hair products for kinky and curly hair. Now, if your niche is going to be skincare or makeup, the information that I'm going to give you is still going to apply, so no worries. Also, if you're planning to rebrand your existing beauty product line because sales are low, this webinar is definitely going to be beneficial to you as well. So let me not waste any time and let's get right into the webinar. So, if you want to see your products in magazines, retail stores, and build a successful brand, you need to educate yourself. When I started Curly Temple, I made tons, and I mean tons of mistakes. And I simply just didn't have any guidance. I had no mentors, no course, no YouTube video that I could watch, nothing. In my own personal research, only one company that is offering a step-by-step knowledge that you can use to start your own brand, which is mine, SMH Branding. The reason why I wanted to build this webinar is because I get tons of messages from people on how to build their beauty business, and frankly, I cannot sum it up in just an email. It took me hours of studying and years of mistakes for me to make my first $10,000 month. So I want to help you skip some of those steps and some of those failures so that you can get started on your business on a solid foundation. So let me share a little bit about myself because I want you to understand my motivation for wanting to have my own business, and hopefully you share the same sentiments as me. Have you ever driven through a wealthy neighborhood and said to yourself, who are these people that own these homes and what do they do for a living? When you grow up in a low income community, having anything more seems far out of reach. Because I, for myself, never imagined owning my own business at all. Quite frankly, the school system doesn't prepare students to be anything more than an employee. I grew up in a single parent household, and if I tell you we struggled, that would be an understatement. I did not have the luxury to go to college for what I actually wanted to do. And I remember at some point during my college career having to study under the streetlight for 6 months with no electricity in my house because I needed to pass my college exams. That's how motivated I was. But I pushed myself and I eventually graduated college under those circumstances. And after 4 long years, I finally received my degree in science and soon became a licensed dental hygienist. So that's what I do by trade. It was a huge struggle for me to pursue the career in a medical field. But I knew that being a dental hygienist was going to be my ticket out of poverty, and I didn't want to go back to being under the streetlight. Although I hated my profession, I loved my patients. Beyond the blood and the gore, I loved helping people. Being a dental hygienist really shifted the way I thought. I spoke to various people, black, white, wealthy, poor, those huge houses that I used to drive by. I now have the opportunity to meet the owners. Every time I asked my wealthy patients what they did for a living, they always told me that they owned their own business. I didn't know what I was good at or what I was passionate about at the time, but I would feel inspired just by talking to them. I just didn't know what business I wanted to pursue, and quite frankly, I did not have the motivation. One of the biggest motivators for me is my anger. And when you tell me I cannot do something, I will run high and low to prove to you that I can do it and make you feel like a fool for doubting me. That anger came upon me one day when my boss paid my new coworker $5 more an hour than me. And I was bewildered by that number because I had spent 4 years at this doctor's practice and I ran her department. And when I approached my boss about the unfair pay, she said that I guess $1 more raise wouldn't hurt her. And I was insulted. I spent 4 years of my life at the doctor's office. She came to my wedding and I sent all my family to her practice. Why was it so difficult for her to pay me equally and fairly? And she was willing to lose a loyal employee rather than paying me what I deserve. That's when it clicked for me. It is her business and she can pay me what she wants. I think as an employee, we have this blind loyalty to an institution, but we also become entitled to that institution's growth. As an employee, we work so hard to help other entrepreneurs grow their business, and we expect to be compensated fairly. Any accolades or any huge clients they land, we can sometimes get caught up in the hype and forget that none of those accomplishments belong to us. They belong to the owner. That is why it is important to remind yourself that your job is not your business. I used to believe that because I worked so hard for my boss, she had to pay me what I deserved. I was entitled to her money. That was simply not true because at the end of the day, it was her business. She could pay me whatever she thought I deserved, regardless of how amazing I believed I was as an employee. And at that time, my value to her, after 4 years of working with her, was only 25 cents a year. That was a hard pill for me to swallow, and I was absolutely devastated. In a few weeks, I actually ended up quitting that job and I moved on to another job and then another job. I was in and out of work all the time. I kept finding myself in and out of work because I just did not have that team spirit anymore. When I decided to start my own brand and focus on building my own business, I decided to do a hair care line and I jumped into it and then I drowned. I made many errors. Looking back on it, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was determined that I did not want to be anybody's employee anymore. Which brings us to mistake number one. I quit my job too soon. Again, my anger in those days used to motivate me, and I would just react before I actually thought. I decided to hustle instead of making a plan. I know it's hard, and you hear those stories of people making millions of dollars after leaving their place of employment to start a new business from scrap. My question to them is how?
How, Sway? Take a few steps back to go. You ain't got the answers, man.
You see, what people leave out of the story is that they received a loan from a family member or they cashed out on some life insurance. They take out a second mortgage. They don't tell you this. They just say they quit their job and then they made millions because it's a great headline. If you plan to be self-funded and don't have money stacked in the bank, I would suggest to you that you keep your job. Quitting your job to be your own boss only sounds amazing in theory. It would be a dream come true for anyone stuck in a job that they hate, like myself.
I am quitting this job today. Hey, hey, hey. I'm leaving.
That's all great, but the reality is that quitting your job cold turkey to start a new business is definitely not a good idea. That all or nothing strategy is needlessly high risk and almost always the wrong path to follow. If you want true financial freedom, you have to examine your costs. Because on average, building a beauty brand or a beauty empire that gets attention from major retailers can cost anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 within the first 6 months. So make sure you write that down. Then there's the cost of public relations, influencer agencies, paid media, and product giveaways. And don't expect to break even within your first years because you will take a loss. They say that people that enter into the beauty industry have to really love what they're doing because you are not going to make any money at the beginning. If you are launching more than one product and using an accredited manufacturing facility, they are going to demand a high minimum order quantity, which leads to you having a lot of inventory but no sales. When I humbled myself and I went back to work, I decided to make an actual business plan and break down the cost of everything. When making your business plan, you need to break down the costs of the following. 1, legal documentation such as your business license and trademarking. Number 2, you need to make sure you have business and liability insurance. And that's an expense that's going to be charged every month. Number 3, you need to factor in the cost of packaging, the cost of the bottles, the cost of the labels, the cost of the caps, the cost to design the labels. You need to think about that. Number 4, the cost of each product ingredient. When I started, I did not break down the ingredients to find out how much each bottle costs because frankly, I was just lazy. But that's important because my bottles, when I first started my business, cost about $6 a bottle. And if you're trying to make a product, your overhead should not be $6 a product. That's just really ridiculous. So you really need to break down the costs. Number 5, the average price of supplies to keep costs down. So your mixers, what are you going to use to fill your bottles? All those things need to be included within your business plan. Number 6, you need to find out the cost of web design, your hosting platform. They're going to charge you every month to host your business on their site. So you need to find out how much do they cost and weigh out the benefits. Adding applications onto your site. That's not something that people really talk about when they're making their business, but applications and upselling applications are very important, but they do charge you. And some of them can charge you $600 a month, and some of them can charge you $5 a month, but you have to figure out what additional applications you want to add to your site beyond the hosting site platform. Your product photography, that's another expense. When I started, I was taking photos off my phone. And really, it's not terrible, but if you really want to attract some real retail buyers, you really need to invest in product photography. And a graphic designer. If you're not creative and you don't know how to make a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, you're going to have to outsource that because you want your products to look as professional as possible. That was just number 6. Number 7, marketing. Okay, we talked about Facebook ads. They're not cheap, especially if you're trying to figure them out on your own. When I looked into having someone do my Facebook marketing, they were asking between $1,500 to $2,000 a month just to run my Facebook ads. And that does not include the budget for the actual ad. So you could be paying $500 a month for a Facebook ad and then have to turn around and pay the company $1,500 a month. So that is an expense you have to think about. And this is why self-education is a must. So you have to learn as much as possible so you can save on the back end. Influencer marketing. Sorry, there's nothing you can do to save on this. You have to, when you're doing a beauty brand, you have to do influencer marketing. Public relations. Do you want your brand featured in major publications? You have to consider the cost of public relations. And I've been quoted $10,000 a month for public relations. So that is something you have to factor in. Are you going to do public relations? Are you going to do your own public relations? Number 8, shipping costs. Shipping can be expensive. A lot of customers do not want to pay for their own shipping. How are you going to eat the cost of the shipping? Are you going to include the shipping costs within your products? So you're always going to make your standard rate for the product. The customer thinks they're not paying for shipping, but they actually are. And then the cost of packaging. Like, are you going to go to the post office and use their boxes? Are you going to make custom boxes? Are you going to use custom mailers? The list goes on. So make sure that you save this list and you write it down and you figure out the cost. I recommend using liveplan.com to create a business plan from start to finish. And when you have a business plan, you get access to grants and you get access to loans and you get access to angel investors. So you want to make sure that you have that in place because starting a beauty brand is very, very expensive. Your business plan is going to be like your roadmap on how you structure and grow your new business. It's a way to think through key elements of your brand. I want you to focus on the content of the plan, what it communicates to the investor and the lender. Many entrepreneurs, they get so excited about how the presentation looks. They underwhelm on the content, especially the details focusing on business strategy. You need to focus on how you are going to make the sale. And unfortunately, I had no idea how I was going to make the sale when I started my brand Curly Temple. And I started with 10 products. Yes, I started with 10 products and it was ridiculous. Do not do that. I did very little product testing, which ended up in my second major mistake. To stay ahead of the beauty industry and to maximize your company's reputation and profit, it is important to have guidelines to follow to ensure that your products meet customers' expectations. I made my products, sent them out to bloggers, and the products began to spoil. Little did I know that at the time, my wholesale supplier had sent us a defective batch of preservative. When my customers and those bloggers reached out to me why their product spoiled, I honestly didn't have an answer for them because I rushed the process and I was only in business for 1 month and I didn't know what was going on. On top of that, I made products that didn't cater to the masses. For myself, I loved thick and heavy creams because I have coarse hair. But for most curly haired women, they love light products. They love products that give a lot of slip for detangling. I should have spent more time checking for sustainability of my product and researching the market before I put it out there. That lack of knowledge, coupled with my poor customer service skills, really caused me some major issues when I started my business. So, when creating a product, you have to make sure that it's safe and what your customers want. Throughout your business planning, and especially before you launch, it is crucial to get outside perspectives on your product. Otherwise, your beauty brand is going to flop and you will lose that money you've invested and the time. Now, how do you do market research with a smaller budget? My advice is to always check what your competitor is doing. Far from being a bad sign, having competition means that your ideal has commercial value. The key for you will be how do you differentiate your business from an already existing one? To do that, first, understand how your competitor operates and communicate with their customers. Where does your competitor have visibility online? Is it Facebook? Is it through YouTube? Is it through Google Ads? If you can find reviews of your competitors, so say if you go to Sephora or Ulta.com and look at their reviews, pay close attention to what people are writing about them, especially the negative reviews. Any of your competitors' shortcomings is an opportunity for you. Also, just talk to people that's in your niche. It sounds very simple, but you need to talk to people about your idea to make your idea the best it can be. You need to ask for outside perspective. Run it by friends, run it by family, run it by acquaintances. Even you can even reach out to influencers, smaller ones, and ask them what they want in their beauty product, what they want in their skincare product, what they want in their hair care product. Because eventually you can use them for marketing later down the line when you do build your brand. If you talk to people within your target market, the people you think are the most likely to buy your product, make sure you ask them key questions. If this product were available today, would you buy it? You might be surprised on how many people are willing to give their 2 cents and provide insight to you. You can even get an idea for an entirely new product from asking questions. So don't be afraid. Once you decide to make a product, you need to make sure that your labeling is clear and concise. The product label is an important element in marketing and selling your product. Your customer needs to know specifics about your product, such as what the product is, how much it costs, how to use it, and how to store it. Which brings me to mistake number 3. When I started my brand Curly Temple, I was trying to be as cheap as possible. My labels were not waterproof, and my design, it was basic. And unfortunately, people do judge a book by its cover, and first impressions cannot be made twice. If you do or don't have an existing beauty business, you need to know that packaging design and layout is key to marketing your products. Your labels must, 1, clearly tell the customer what ingredients are in each bottle. Number 2, it should show the expiration date on each product. And number 3, it should be designed with marketing in mind to make the sale for you. If those 3 things are not clear to the customer, it will kill your conversion. Attention to the smallest details will help others to understand the depth to which your company is committed to quality. You can go to places like AliExpress to find wholesale suppliers to get custom packaging like this, where you have a yellow cap and a purple bottle. You can also get companies to design directly onto the packaging. So packaging like these, they do not have labels. It's imprinted on the bottle. So if you have a bigger budget, you can invest in something like this. But ideally, if you're self-funded, you're going to be looking at packaging like this, where you're buying the bottles and then you're making the labels to stick on the bottles. And that is the most inexpensive way to design your product packaging, is buying the bottles and then buying the labels separately and designing your label design. But if you want to go out, by all means, do something like Clinique, where they have printed their actual design on the packaging. So that creates no room for error. So if you design something and it's printed on the packaging and there's a mistake on it, you can't easily go back and fix it. Usually companies that do stuff like this, they have high order values. So you have to order thousands of these little bottles in order for them to be able to fulfill it, because they have to make money as well. So you can't order 10 of these bottles. You'll have to order 5,000 of them. So remember, you want to keep track of your inventory. Are you going to be able to afford to buy 10,000 custom-made bottles? Or do you want to go the more inexpensive route and just buy the bottles and then make the label separately, which I recommend? But all that being said, you definitely want to look at other people's designs and think about, what is the theme of your products? Are they going to be fun and playful like my brand is? Or is it going to be classic? Is it going to be elegant? Is it going to be natural? Is it going to be organic? Those are the things you need to consider when you are making your labels, because your labels is going to reflect your brand and it's going to reflect your website. So take notes. Go to Ulta, go to Sephora, walk through their aisles, see what stands out to you as a consumer, and see what you are going to be able to replicate. Look at different packaging websites, see what they have to offer. Are you willing to invest a large amount of money into your packaging, or do you want to try to keep it simple and cute? When I decided to rebrand my product line for Curly Temple, I went to other brands and I looked for inspiration through their designs on how to design my product labels and my packaging. I loved Mayel Organics packaging, so I decided to make a twist and her label design and make it my own. So this is my inspiration for creating my line, Curly Temple, and my packaging. So this is her packaging, and then this is my packaging. So it's similar, but it's not the same. And then I took different aspects of hers, of what I liked, and added to my own. So I put the ribbon on the side, as you can see down here. And then she had her logo front and center, and I did that as well. And then the gold cap. Those are the three things that we have similar. But I really loved her design, and I wanted to be able to take aspects from her design and add it to mine. You do not want to make an exact replica and copy other people, because that will start a war. So you do not want to do that. But you can take ideas from other companies and try to add it into your own product design. Here are the things you need to include on your product label for legal purposes and to make the sale. Number one, you need something about your brand. It can be 1 or 2 sentences. It doesn't have to be long, but you need to tell the customers about your company. Number 2, you need directions. It is so annoying when people reach out to you on a regular basis on how to use your product. So you want to provide as much detail as possible for your directions on your product and on your website. Number 3, you need INCI ingredient lists. So for legal purposes, you have to have all of your ingredients listed as INCI ingredients. Number 4, you need to have your product weight in ounces and in milliliters. Number 5, you need highlighted benefits. So you need to break down, why should this person buy this from you. On my products, I write that this product is for kinky hair, or this product is for dry hair, or this product is for fine hair, or if you're scaling skin, this product is for acne prone skin, this product is for dry skin. Those are the highlighted benefits that you need to add onto your product. Number 6, what sets you apart? Are you handmade? Are you vegan? Are you paraben free? People are really interested in plant-based products. So when you are starting your product, you need to really consider those things, making sure that you have paraben-free products and that it's plant-based. Number 7, what is your business address? Now, if you're a home-based business, you don't necessarily have to put your whole address on. I wouldn't recommend that. You can either 1, get a P.O. box, or number 2, you can just write the city and then the state. Do not put your street address on there. Your business name. So whatever you registered your business at and within the state, you need to put that name on there. Number 9, the shelf life. This is important. How long is that person supposed to use the product? Because if they keep the product for 2 years and then they break out, you will be liable for the damages that they experience. So you want to make sure that you put the shelf life on there. Number 10, website and social media tags. Say if they don't buy your products on your website and they received it from a friend, or they bought it from the store because you got your products in the store, you want to make sure that they have all the contact information that you have so that they can go and repurchase from you again. And then if your goal is to have your products in the store, number 11, you need to have UPCs on your product. And if you want your products on Amazon.com, which is a great search engine and it's going to help with your SEOs later, you need a UPC. So you make sure at the beginning you get that straight away. When you are in a business, you're going to be busy and you want to try to have as many questions answered for your customers before they purchase a product. Once you have those things properly in place, the product alone will make the sale for you. Which brings me to mistake number 4. I had no plan on how I was going to sell my products, but I convinced myself that vendor life was the wave for me. When I started my brand Curly Temple, I hustled a lot. I went to vendor events, I went to trade shows, I drove around and I delivered samples of my products to salons all over Philadelphia. And I only had my time and my effort wasted. If that's your plan of action to start your business, please listen to me. Do not do that. I started Curly Temple that way, and let me tell you, it was no fun because it only made me physically and mentally exhausted. One time, I even drove from Philadelphia to Atlanta to do this huge hair expo that cost me $3,000 to attend. I just knew after I left that expo that I was going to leave with stacks of cash. Let me tell you, I tried. I tried my best to get people to come to my booth and talk to me, but it was like pulling teeth. I had no online presence. No one knew who I was, and they honestly just didn't even care. They went to the bigger brands that were giving away product for $5 a bag, and I just couldn't compete. When you start your beauty brand journey, you really need to invest a significant amount of your budget into figuring out how you are going to sell your product. Don't think that if you make a website and you post stuff on social media and go to trade shows, people are just going to magically buy your product. Preparation is fundamental in the beauty industry, and you need to have the marketing budget set aside at the very beginning. The best way to market any beauty product is through social proof. What is social proof? So, by definition, social proof is a psychological and social phenomenon wherein people copy the actions of others in the attempt to undertake behavior in the given situation. Because people are more likely to purchase a product which others are already purchasing, social proof can be a way to increase conversions by showing customers how popular your product is. I had no social proof, no way of showing on my site and at my trade shows that other people enjoyed my product. So it took a lot of time and effort to convince people to even buy anything from me. I gave them zero reasons to trust me and my brand. From experience, beauty shoppers are very critical about brands, and most of the time, they won't trust your brand at first glance. And most beauty shoppers are looking to see what others have said about your product before they make a purchase. So, some examples of social proof are word of mouth, customer reviews, testimonials, and product endorsements. One of the best investments I've made for Curly Temple is influencer marketing. My suggestion to you is before you start selling your products to anyone, you need to build a buzz with influencers. Using micro influencers when starting your brand can be very powerful because they are affordable. And a lot of brands, they use celebrities and they are, if you're self-funded, it's going to be way out of your budget. So try to use micro influencers. Now, micro influencers are people that have a following anywhere between 1,000 to 50,000 followers. Micro influencers specifically focus on a niche and they are generally regarded as industry experts. They also tend to be focused on a few topics and accept products from a few brands. Also, micro influencers they love to talk and they support each other and they will talk about your brand. Also, there are private Facebook groups that influencers use to chat about different brands, different products that they tried, and sometimes they share negative reviews. So, if you want to take advantage of the market and want to find out what's really going on in the industry, you can join these groups before you start your brand to get an idea of what your customer base wants. So, if you have an idea and you're building your product line, it's good to post everything now because people love an authentic experience. especially micro influencers, and they want to see the process of you building your brand from the beginning all the way up to launch. This is how you gain customers from the start and build trust in your brand. Offering a pre-launch giveaway is also a very effective tool to generate social proof. A mass giveaway gives you an opportunity to gain user-generated content, or UGC. Millions of photos are uploaded daily for thousands of beauty brands without them even asking for it. Beauty customers love to show off their purchases. Basically, for you, it will be free marketing. Make a plan of action to get people to post your product on social media. Your user-generated content strategy should look something like this. Number one, you need to come up with a creative hashtag. Number two, you need to tell your customers what hashtag they should use and when they should upload their product review. So you can add that hashtag to your packaging, or you can put it in your social media bio, so for your Instagram or your Facebook. Number three, you need to gather all of that user-generated content with a social proof app, so Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And then number four, you need to curate and display those images, either on your website or you can add them back onto your Instagram. And number five, you need to rinse and repeat. Keep doing this, because this is how you build social proof, and that's how you build trust within your brand. I wish that I did this for my brand, Curly Temple, at the beginning, but honestly, it wasn't even a thought. But please do not make a $3,000 mistake like me. Although I went to that expo and I spent $3,000 and I didn't make a fraction of that back, that was the worst and the best thing that has ever happened to me. Number one, it taught me endurance. I smiled and I pushed through and I stayed for the entire event. Number two, it taught me that preparation is key. For one, I really needed to go to that event before and realize that that they were giving their products away at such a low profit margin, and I wasn't prepared for that. And also, I needed to build social proof and generate my own client base before I go to these events. I shouldn't have depended on the event to provide me with customers so that they will buy my product. I needed to build my own customer base and then direct them to that event so that they could buy my products in person. Number three, and made me reevaluate my online presence. Going to vendor events can be profitable if you go to the right one, but it is always a gamble. You have to really depend on whoever's hosting the event to really bring the traffic into the building. And if they don't bring the traffic into the building, you're not going to make any sales. So it made me think to myself, how can I make $10,000 at home and in my sleep rather than going and using all of my time and my energy at these events? This was a $3,000 mistake I made, but I was able to make this mistake and turn it into a new mindset for Curly Temple. After that event, I was able to rebrand my business and increase my sales by 500%. How did I do that? Well, how much time do you have? I mean, if you have literally all day to talk about my mistakes and the lessons I've learned from building my brand, I will happily do it, but I know you don't. I can share with you exactly what you need to do to build your own brand, but implementation is imperative. If you are serious about building your own beauty brand, I have created a masterclass on how to build and launch your own beauty business on a solid foundation, because we all have the ultimate goal of financial freedom. If you're anything like me and you do not want to be an employee anymore and have the passion and the drive to build your own beauty empire, then please let's look at my course. So in my course, you will receive the following step-by-step guide on how to build your beauty brand. So let's look through it. This is the masterclass on how to build a beauty brand. Now, this masterclass is going to be an 11-lesson on-demand course with video tutorials, quizzes, and downloadable PDFs. On this DIY journey, you will go through an in-depth, step-by-step process of turning your idea into a functioning business that gets sales from day one. And exclusive to the masterclass, you will get guaranteed marketing techniques that will work so you can grow your customer base. So let's look at the course curriculum. This is the masterclass, How to Build a Beauty Brand curriculum. So one is introduction. So my goal is to have you start your financial freedom as soon as possible, and I want you to be able to complete your brand and have it up and running within 6 months. So this is going to give you a guide on how to complete the course within 6 months. Lesson one, because if you just want to make products on the side, then this course is not for you. If you want a brand and you see your products in department stores, Target, Walgreens, Walmart, then this is the course for you, because I'm going to show you exactly how to do so. Lesson two, we're going to talk about mind your business, changing your mindset, dreaming big. How can you prepare your mind for building your business? Because a lot of times people just stop because they can't get their mind together. So I'm going to show you how to prepare your mind so that you can get your brand into stores. Lesson three, personal finances. Now, personal finances can make or break any business. Now, I'm going to show you why having good personal finances is important, and I'm going to give you the information to remove all the negative items off your credit so you can start your business on a solid foundation. So I can show you how to get hospital bills, bankruptcies, student loans, get negative items off your credit like late payments and unverified accounts, all off your credit so that you can start up with a high credit score and you can get those loans for your business. Number four is a business foundation. Okay, so you have to build the foundation of your business. You have to pick the name. You have to trademark your business. And I'm going to tell you why that's important within the lesson, especially if you want to sell your products on Amazon. Business insurance, having a business bank account. I'm going to explain to you what a DUNS number is and why it's important for your business and how to get business credit. And I'm going to show you how to make a business plan. And I'm going to provide for you a business plan template so that you don't have to figure it out on your own. Lesson five, we're going to talk about the product, the importance of starting out small. Don't be like me and start out with 10 products. Well, I'm going to give you the list of carrier oils. So if you're going to make your own products at home, you need to know what coconut oil is. How is it good for the skin? How is it good for your hair? Undesirable ingredients you want to avoid putting in your products. I'm going to give you the list of that. When I started my brand, I had to look up every ingredient individually, but you won't have to do that because I'm going to give you that list. A video about staying organized. I'm going to show you how to break down the cost of each of your product so you know how to price them. I'm going to explain to you how to do product testing. I'm going to give you that INCI ingredient list that we talked about earlier. I'm going to give you that list so when you go to write your ingredient list down, you do not have to look that up because it's already going to be given to you. And also pricing. We're going to figure out how to price your products. Lesson six, we're going to talk about the importance of having a good brand story. Not only is good packaging a way to market your products, but also the brand story that can sell your products alone. Sometimes people don't even care about your product, but if you have a good story, people are willing to purchase from you. Number seven, aesthetic. So how do you pick your aesthetic? How do you do your social media marketing? By using Canva. How to design your own logo, how to design your labels. I'm going to explain to you exactly how to do so. Social media, I'm going to explain to you the importance of blogging with your Instagram, creating Facebook groups, how to optimize LinkedIn. That is a social media platform that business owners tend to ignore, but you can actually use this to your advantage. So I'm going to show you exactly how to use LinkedIn for your beauty brand. Number 9, your website. We're going to show you what you need to put on your website and how to structure it to make a sell. We're going to show you how to get good product photography, how to design and lay out your website, what should be on your homepage, how to write your product descriptions. I'm going to show you how to save on shipping and also the applications you would need to upsell your product so that you can get as many sales as possible from your customer. And remember, we talked about social proof. I'm going to show you how to get social proof. It can be hard to get people to leave reviews on your products, but I'm going to show you how to get them to not only purchase from you, but also leave reviews so that other customers will purchase from you. I'm going to show you how to do influencer marketing the right way, how to design the contract so that they just don't take your product, because for me, when I first started, I used to send out my product with no contract and they would just take the products out. Also, remember I have mentioned earlier that it can cost you up to $10,000 for public relations, and I'm going to show you how to do your own public relations. And it's really not hard and you can do it very quickly. Lesson 11. I'm going to show you how to prepare for your launch day with a pre-launch and a giveaway and the worksheets to follow. And here's the bonus material. This is what's going to help build your customer base. We're going to talk about sales funnels. We're going to talk about lead generations. We're going to talk about email funnels. And most importantly, I am going to give you your first 1,000 email subscribers. Now, you can email them or you can take their emails and put them into your Facebook ads, and you can target the right customer base. So you already have a customer base before you even put out anything, which is amazing. So, if you do not believe me, that is okay, because I have beta tested this course, and here are some of the reviews that I have received from brand owners just like you that have worked with me and have completed my program and was able to have success with starting their beauty brand on a solid foundation. So let's cover frequently asked questions. The first question is, how long will you have access to a course? So if you have paid for the course, you are going to have access to this course for 12 months. So you have an entire year to come back and forth and look at this course to see tips and tricks on how to build your beauty brand. How is this course structured? So as mentioned before, it's going to be structured as video tutorials and downloadable worksheets that you can do on your own time. How long will it take for you to finish this program? Well, if you are super aggressive, you can finish this program in 90 days. But ideally, I want you to spend 6 months to build your beauty brand and take the time to do it. And I'm going to give you a worksheet to follow and a list of emails to follow in order to complete your brand within 6 months. What if I've already have an established brand? That's actually perfect, because you can skip some of the hard part with just coming up with the idea of your product, and then you can get straight onto rebranding your already existing brand. What level of support will I receive? I am dedicating to helping you to succeed, because if you don't succeed, I don't succeed. So I'm keeping the classes small. I want to work closely with each student as possible. So as a result of that, I will be sending out weekly emails to you to check how you are doing with the program and if you are continuing with the process and not quitting and giving up on your dream of your own business and having financial freedom. And last question, if I'm just starting out, can I still sign up? Of course, actually, this is probably the best time for you to sign up and because you are in research mode. Most entrepreneurs waste so much time and money reinventing the wheel instead of getting direct guidance from a professional, someone who is in the business. So this program will help you to be clear about your plan, and whenever you're ready to launch your brand, I am here to help. So the total cost for this course, if you purchase today, will be $12.47. So you will be saving a total of $250 off this course, and this discount is only valid for 7 days, so you need to take advantage of it as soon as possible. This discount is not available for payment plans, so if you would like to use my special offer for you for $250 off, you will need to pay in full. Once the coupon code expires, you will no longer be eligible for the $250 off, so please make sure you act as soon as possible. And as a special gift for you for staying to the end, you are going to get my bonus gift. My bonus gift is already in your email as I speak of my vendor list and my manufacturer list that I trust and use. In addition to that, you will receive 50% off of my book, How to Start a Beauty Brand, if you are not ready to start the course just yet. Again, this offer is only valid for 7 days, so you have 7 days to save $250 off of my course, and you have 7 days to save 50% off of my book. Please check out my site, smhbranding.com. I have books that you can use to help build your brand, an interactive workbook along with my actual book that I'm offering 50% off. Services, I offer a branded website design. I have a monthly mentorship program where we can actually sit and talk about your brand and talk about your idea so that you can have some type of mentorship when you're starting your beauty brand. Also, I design product labels as well. So if you're interested in those 3 things, you can come over to my website. And finally, I just would like to say thank you for staying to the end. I really hope you enjoyed this course and you were able to learn something from it, because at the end of the day, if you do not purchase the course, or you do not purchase my book, I'm okay with that, because I want you to build your brand on a solid foundation. So if I'm a part of your journey with you building your beauty line, then I'm so happy to do so. I really love helping people. And if you have any more questions for me and you want to learn a little bit more about my class and you want to have a one-on-one consultation, please email me at info@smhbranding.com. I am totally happy to help. We can schedule an appointment together to chat.